I feel sorry to the fans because the fight is boring. The fight is boring. Like, that's not the fans are expecting to us.
Pretty certain Terence Crawford in his brain is saying to himself, I can beat this dude. You know what I'm saying? If he actually goes through with it, he'll be 38 years of age next Sunday.
It's the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf.
I feel sorry for the fans because the fight turned out boring. That's not what the fans were expecting from us.
Fight is boring. Like, that's not the fans are expecting to us. I mean, as a fighter, if I'm a fan, of course I want to see a good fight, like changing fight, not a.
Crawford delivered enough action and displayed his skills so clearly that even a casual fan could see they were watching an elite athlete performing at the highest level. His performance captured the attention and respect of the sports world in a way that went beyond what he achieved after beating Spence, elevating his status to an entirely new level.
Now, in the beginning of this conversation, you say, I don't like boastful people. How was it like fighting Mayweather then? Did he get on your nerves? Because I feel like he's a little bit more boastful than the people you might be wanting to hang out with.
Yeah, he's boastful. I think his God is the material things, money, everything like that. I'm pretty with him because I want to share the word of God in him if he believe God.
Yeah, I've heard he's a generous man. I think he's done good things. I think, he kind of reminds me of like a lot of people are like this, by the way, including myself. I'm not just saying him. I'm including myself. The man who goes up to Jesus and says, what should I do to get into heaven? He says, sell all your belongings. And he walked away crying because he couldn't sell his belongings.
Manny Pacquiao openly criticized Floyd Mayweather, accusing the retired champion of being motivated almost entirely by money. According to Pacquiao, Mayweather's returns to the ring have nothing to do with legacy or love for the sport, but everything to do with cashing in on exhibition spectacles. He dismissed the idea of a potential showdown with Terence Crawford as nothing more than a money grab, not a genuine contest. Pacquiao argued that this approach drains boxing of its true spirit, turning it into a business performance. Fighters parading like models on a runway instead of clashing like warriors in the
broadcast for Jake and Tyson, and some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is, and the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules. Exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
The announcement of a 2026 showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Analysts quickly pointed out that this matchup isn't about two fighters at their peak, but rather an entertainment spectacle designed to generate revenue. Marketed as a tune-up for Mayweather ahead of a possible clash with Terence Crawford later that year, the event is expected to deliver massive pay-per-view numbers. With Tyson's legendary status and Mayweather's global brand, the fight is certain to command worldwide media attention, even if its sporting value remains minimal.
Man,
a generational talented fighter. Like, he's accomplished what no other fighter is ever going to accomplish.
Once again, Terence Crawford expressed his deep admiration for Manny Pacquiao. He emphasized that Pacquiao's career stands alone in boxing history, as the Filipino icon captured world titles across multiple weight divisions, often defeating bigger opponents and overcoming the odds. Crawford noted that Pacquiao's success was not only historic but nearly impossible to replicate, as he achieved greatness in a unique era by taking on challenges no other fighter would dare to attempt.
Shocked the world, not me, but shocked the world. This past Saturday, Mexican Independence Day weekend, what he took on and defeated another first ballot Hall of Famer, but he essentially jumped up 3 weight classes, technically 2, from 154 to 168, but only had 1 fight at 154 last August against Israel Majimov. Terence Crawford defeated Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight, and the reigning, at the time, super middleweight world champion, undisputed world champion. And Terence Crawford beat him handily and convincingly. And because he beat him so easily, now the 63 win, 3 loss, 2 draw, 39 win by way of knockout, biggest threat has been now imposed on Terence Crawford, and that's the Mexican-Ecuadorian monster, David Benavidez, who is a 2-division undefeated world champion, is the 2-time WBC super middleweight and reigning WBC light heavyweight, 175-pound champion, who has a record of 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout. He stands 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. This is a fight that David Benavidez has been calling for Canelo Alvarez when he was at 168, and Canelo Alvarez strategically maneuvered around him. But Canelo Alvarez is 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach, started his career at 147 pounds, made his real name at 154 pounds. He's not a big guy, okay? And styles make fights. Benavidez is 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. His last fight at 168 against Demetrius Andrade, he rehydrated to 193. So he's a big guy. Canelo Alvarez probably rehydrate to 182, maybe 185 max, right? He's not a big guy.
The idea of Terence Crawford facing David Benavidez has become a major talking point among fans. Benavidez is seen as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport today, bringing size, youth, and relentless aggression to the table. Supporters believe such a matchup would test Crawford in ways no other opponent has so far. Yet, despite the excitement, no official confirmation has been made, leaving the matchup in the realm of speculation. The discussion, however, underscores the hunger among boxing fans for meaningful, high-risk fights that go beyond exhibitions and celebrity-driven spectacle.